Good evening, it's 7 p.m. This is the April 22nd, 2015 meeting of the Auburn Conservation Commission. This meeting is being broadcast live or being recorded, Chris?
Both.
Okay. It's being broadcast live and it's also being recorded for later rebroadcast. Our meetings are available online at auburnguide.com. Before we begin, is anyone present making a recording of this meeting? If there isn't, we have a presentation, a brief presentation from Mr. Benoit.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Matt Benoit, Town Planner with Auburn. Just wanted to go over something we've discussed at our last meeting for the Camden Woods subdivision. Just wanted to bring my picture because I couldn't get it on the TV. The last we spoke about this scar patch in the land and the fact that they're trying to donate the open space to the town for their open space residential development requirement off of Camden Woods on Camden Drive. Turns out that the assessor's records don't show a property line that's right about here. Okay, because they combined them for tax purposes.
Right.
So this scar is technically not on the land that's going to be donated, or proposed to be donated. So that's good news. Okay, the other thing I wanted to brief the board on is that brought this in front of the planning board. The planning board had raised questions about it not having any access and whether or not they'd want to recommend it to town meeting for public acceptance. Seems a little grim for the town to possibly own it. The other method would be for them to recommend that the owner keeps it in a trust, restricted as open space land. So the reason I came to the commission today is, this is for a future town meeting reference, and I hope not to have to bring this up again with either board, but if the commission wanted to make a recommendation for the town to purchase this land and keep it open space conservation, a recommendation either way would be well received. I just wanted to bring that to your attentions, and if you wanted to make such a recommendation for town acquisition or to keep it in private, I think it would be good to hear from the commission on this matter.
Well, my initial question is, who owns the sand pit?
The same property owner.
Who is?
It is an LLC owned by the developer Jeff Boyskoy.
Okay. And I haven't been out there because it's been so wet. Hopefully I will get out there in the next few weeks. Is there any current activity there, to your knowledge?
I don't believe so. The edge of the sand pit using the measuring tool seems to be outside of the Pondville pond border,
Okay.
but I'm not sure about any other wetlands within the close proximity area.
All right, so we don't know if it's 200 feet away.
It's over 100 feet,
Okay, but it may be within 200 feet.
maybe riverfront. Right?
Okay. All right. I mean, I think, now you have been out there, right?
I have not been to the sand
Okay.
guard.
I think our concern was, when this was first brought to our attention, there was some concern about possible runoff or erosion into the river. And so I think before we make any sort of recommendation, I think it would be worth our while to go out there, take a look, and then see what the status is, if it's stable, if anything else needs to be done in terms of stabilizing the area. And then maybe we can revisit the whole issue of them donating it.
Sure.
Or making a recommendation to for the owner to donate it to the town.
Sure, just as a measure of clarity, that dividing line would not include the scarred portion of land?
Right.
So the section being donated, okay, just wanted to...
Okay. So that being said, are you saying that the LLC will continue to hold the sand pit?
Yes,
Okay.
no matter what.
But that property can't be developed.
That's
All
correct.
right. All right.
Did you say there was an access? Is this access here? I don't know.
The only access is to the detention basin. That's not really an access where you can put a driveway.
Okay.
I suppose you could, but...
Is that a logging, is that like a cart path going in now, Mike? Or is
That was the path that led to the sand.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
I just wanted to bring the board's attention, that's all.
I appreciate it. Does anyone have any questions?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Benoit.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you for your time.
Bye.
The first item on our agenda is a 7 o'clock public hearing, request for determination filed by Eric Edstrom for renovations and construction of a front porch and shed property located at 2 Winchester Avenue. Is there a motion open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. Is anyone here for Mr. Edstrom?
Hi.
Hi. Hi. So what do you have in mind?
Excuse me?
Tell us about your project.
I'm just looking to do some vinyl siding, replace my windows, so I'm pulling a permit for that
Okay.
within the wetlands. And I want to construct a shed behind the house, well, actually right next to the house now. I was going to put it behind it, but
Okay.
it's going to look like another zip code back there if I do that, so.
How close to the channel?
I believe I have dimensions on the... The proposed shed would be 30 feet.
And is it going to be a movable shed, or are you going to sink? Are you going to
It's just
stabilize
gonna,
it?
it doesn't need a permit, it's just gonna be on blocks.
Okay.
It's gonna be within the size, under 200 square feet.
So do we have a deck or something too?
Yeah, and then the front porch also, in the front of the house, I have a dormer off the front, I just want to extend it, and I'm gonna have to dig 2 piers
Okay.
to carry the roof and the deck system and that. Which you can probably, tell from the topography that I don't think there'll be any issue with the channel,
Right.
with any digging in the front of the house.
You get what?
Was it last,
This is the last packet.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
last week?
Yes.
Okay.
Last month. Last meeting. See, you want first.
Absolutely.
Sorry, let me catch up.
Any questions?
So we're trying to think.
Okay. Now to build your shed,
That was it.
to build your shed in the back, do you need to level out the lot in any way,
No,
or are you just going to do it with the blocks?
I'll put one end on the lawn and put the other, it does slope down, I'll just
Right.
put the other end on blocks.
Okay. All right. So you're not going to be moving any soil or anything. No disturbance of the ground. Okay. Any questions?
That would be the only question I would have.
Yeah.
How was your porch? Is that going to be on?
It's about 6 by 8 feet. It's just mainly, it's
And
decorative.
so is that going to rest on posts?
That will rest on piers, that'll be dug
Piers,
down.
okay.
Tom, any questions?
No, I'll go on record that I live at 5 Winchester, I'm a neighbor, not direct about it, right across the street. And I can attest he's an awesome carpenter and it's gonna come out really nice. I wasn't paid for that either.
Be embarrassed. Any comment from the audience? Okay. There being none, is there a motion to close?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Edstrom. We'll be rendering decisions later on today.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I will be until Monday. Okay. All right. Thank you.
His neighbor is building basically a house out of that shed in the back, insulation, drywall. The house that was right next door, there's a shed in the back.
Yes, I know
Yeah,
just what you're talking
they bought insulation in there, and under the Massachusetts building code, they need to have somebody who's licensed to install insulation, believe it or not.
Really?
Yep. And that also makes it a dwelling, if you can ask Caleb, but I was shocked.
Okay,
because it's a very big shed.
it is.
Yeah, I remember that.
Is that 4 inches?
Yes.
We have a few minutes until the 7:15 public hearing, which is going to be continued anyway. I want to let members of the board know that last week, last week, I had received a call from Mr. Robidoux indicating that he had gotten our enforcement order and that he was making arrangements to have the collapsed shed or structure removed from his property. So he called me and told me that in fact it had been removed, and I did go out on Saturday and it's gone. So I don't know if the board would entertain a motion to vacate the enforcement order.
I'll make a motion to vacate the enforcement order.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's a vote. We had also, if you recall, a couple weeks ago, had taken a visit to property owned by, it's SDC Realty. It's at 430 Rochdale Street, I believe.
Mhm.
This is the forestry land. And when we went there, Sheila,
Yeah.
there's not only are there wetlands there, but there's actually an active stream there. And it might be a river, I don't know if it's intermittent or perennial, but when looking at this, the correspondence from the Division of Fisheries and Wildlife, and also the letter that was sent by R&J Harvesting LLC back in February, there was no plan that was attached to it.
No.
And so, I am, without knowing what portion of that property is going to be harvested for timber, I think we need to contact the Division of Fisheries and Wildlife and get a site plan. I saw Mr. Pappas on Saturday, and we were walking his property, and I mentioned this to him, and he advised me that he thought that there was a plan, which makes sense. We didn't get it. So, but I think something, and I would suggest maybe a letter would be sent to Mr. Waterman at the Department of Conservation and Recreation, advising him that we're not going to take any action on this, and we're certainly not going to approve it until we see a plan of land. So, can I have a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion to what you just said.
Okay. We'll send a letter to Mr. Waterman. Very good. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. Okay, I'll draft something and send it out in the next week or so.
Did we get in touch with the woman that owns the home on, oh God, I can't think of the name of it, off Rochdale Street, Wallace Ave, about the cut down tree? on
Oh,
the
the
home.
landlord, yeah.
Have we got in touch with her? Did we get in touch with her?
No, I don't know what was going to happen with them. We're going to try to see if they could see anything from Wallace Ave.
Yeah, we went,
It was
We did.
William Street.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we went to Wallace Ave and they had some violations,
Yeah, in fact,
unfortunately. And the person that lives there was a tenant, so we needed to contact the landlord and let them know that there's some
Okay.
concerns.
So were you able to decide which house it was? 'Cause that's what's...
We-
Well, it was one tree was cut down, but it was like, it was
Yeah,
pretty
it was
far
like firewood.
away.
They basically
Yeah, I
just
think
cut
it
it up
was-
in firewood.
Yeah.
A long time ago they cut it down, like
And it
Christmas
was,
time.
it was split wood, I mean, it was stacked, but what was on her property was significantly worse
Yeah.
Huh.
than the tree that was cut down. Pretty far away from where the water was.
Okay.
yeah, what we wanted to do was, we wanted to find out who owned the property on Wallace Avenue.
Yeah.
And we actually think that the owner needs to be given an enforcement order because aside from material being very close to the stream there, we found metal tanks, other things, like there was an abandoned propane tank, there was a larger tank, and I have no
Yeah, like
idea
acetylene or something.
what kind of gas that held,
Big,
but
one of those big tanks.
it's an area that there's also, someone had broken up a patio and just left the slabs near there, so I think they need to attend to it. We don't know the Don't we know the address?
I'd say it was like 48, what was that?
Well, we need to get the address and then we can take action.
Speaking of trees, do we know why all of these, several great big trees have been cut down recently? Like, I mean, up there.
We're all asking that
And, there's one on, there's one or two on Patrick Church. Big huge trees have been cut down. I don't know. I haven't seen who's cutting them. So I don't know, I just all of a sudden I realized that all the big trees are there.
I know we discussed that, I think, at the last meeting, and it's not because of an insect infestation. We think it might be that National Grid is maintaining their easement, but I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Started the machine and moved some things, but all they
I don't know if Bill Coyle might know, but no, I don't know.
They're
And no one's given us any notice of
It's
it.
really
I don't
bad.
know if he read the entire enforcement, he came in when I had gone to lunch.
Okay,
So I don't know, I think he spoke to Matt or Caleb.
this is the person from William Street.
Yeah, they're supposed to be on the agenda for tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. Are they coming?
I haven't heard anything.
All right. All right, well,
As
we'll
I
get,
said, he did come in when Matt went over to tell him to stop work. And I wasn't there when he came in, and then I haven't heard anything since.
okay. It's now 7:17. The next item on the agenda is a 7:15 public hearing. A notice of intent filed by David Pappas for development of property located at 129 West Street in Auburn. I received an email this afternoon, I think you did too, Sheila, from Scott
Yes.
Morrison at Ecotech, requesting, apparently they are still waiting action by the planning board, or some sort of action by the planning board. And so there was a request made to continue the public hearing to May 13th. What time, do we know?
I think I was going to put them right at 7,
Okay, so we don't have anything else on the agenda?
not 7.
Okay. Okay, so could I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, it's a vote. Okay. Might as well go through the other agenda items, right? Regarding Faith Avenue, we are in the process of scheduling, if you want to call it a kickoff meeting. So I will get in touch with Jillian Davies at BSC and coordinate her schedule, my schedule, and Mr. Kravosky's schedule. Try to get a kickoff meeting scheduled for hopefully by the beginning of May. And I'll notify people when we can pick a date if you can attend. Ms. Davies has requested that it be held during the week, which I know will limit some people in terms of their ability to attend. So we'll see what we can do. I'll circulate some dates, and hopefully if some of you can make it, that would be great.
What's her name again?
Jillian Davies.
How you doing? Good, how are you?
This is Mr. Conan that just came in from Central Mass, 1 William Street.
Okay. Well,
We have until 7:30.
why not? Come on up.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Anybody know the password?
It's over.
Hi, how are you?
Good deal.
Good.
Can you just identify yourself for the record, please?
Yep, I'm Mike Conan with Central Mass Builders.
Okay. We spoke last week, I believe.
Yep.
Okay. So as you know, there was an issue with some water going onto the adjacent landowner's property. And we had taken a site walk out there a couple weeks ago and found that some of the erosion control measures had, I guess, become destabilized.
Yep.
And so that's why we were looking for ways to both restabilize the erosion control measures and also to see what could be done to just eliminate that problem of water going onto the adjacent Mr. Burnett's property.
Yep. Okay.
Good evening, folks. Scott Jordan from Ecotech.
Hi, Scott.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and jump in, Mike. We swung by and looked at the site together yesterday, and agree that per the recommendation in the enforcement order that was issued on the 9th, a swale along the westerly property boundary would probably be a good idea.
Okay.
Didn't see any evidence of, and it had rained an inch and a half the day before, of we'll try to talk about the same thing at the same time.
I'll show you them. You can have that one, it's okay.
Didn't see any evidence of runoff heading to the west or southwest onto the property. I guess it's number 7 to the west. Didn't see any scouring or anything like that. Obviously the wetland down below, the depression had some ponding in it, 4-6 inches.
Did you see some siltation though?
I saw some siltation, I didn't see siltation in the wetland. I saw some 5-10 feet beyond the barrier in this area here. And we did discuss that. You know, everybody's mending fences right now that winter broke here in the last week or two. And we had a lengthy discussion about that he's got some areas where he's got to get replace silt fence, and there's a few areas of bales, but silt fence had ripped, fallen down.
Well, especially in the area where you've got that whole rocky ledge.
Right.
And I know that there was an attempt made to put in the silt fence, and I think put in a hay bale, but I don't know how effective it was.
I saw segments there that weren't towed in also,
Exactly.
and he explained to me it is very ledgy in that area. There was no erosion in that area because it is mostly ledge. I saw no sedimentation had gotten past that area. It was more in this area. And like I said, we had a lengthy discussion. I think he's going to tackle that right away, as is every contractor right now, repairing after the hard winter. So we addressed that. We also addressed, I told him it's time now. It's past April 15th, even though nature's about 3 weeks behind this year, that he can plant for the replication or the restoration plan that Art Allen drew up. He contacted New England Wetland Plants today to order his shrubs and a few saplings to get those. We can pop those in the ground. We discussed how to go about that, repairing erosion controls. And HS&T did a minor revision to the approved plan that we'd like to construct under the enforcement order, just to save time, showing a swale with a slight bend to the east, kind of pointing towards flag A11, where we can pick up a natural shallow swale. There's a saddle in this area. Let me jump back. There's a natural saddle in this area. We want to make sure that we aim that stuff to the east of that saddle, so we keep it on this property. So we pointed that towards flag A11. Rather than a straight swale here, there's a chance it could go that way. So that was carefully thought out. So they put that in. We have some notes on, and we talked yesterday about how we should go about installing, shaping that guy, and immediately putting down an erosion control blanket, stapling it in. Seed first, obviously, so we can have an instantly, at least temporarily stabilized swale. So really no real great changes yet done on the site. Obviously it was stumped and grubbed, but any water that had always gone this way is still going that way, but we'll grab it and keep it and make sure that we keep it at number 3.
You have any estimate of the groundwater in this area, the height of it?
I actually went to this site the day after you sent the email, Sheila. It had been raining that day.
Yeah.
And the neighbor described it as being the shed, which is in probably part of this wetland right here, no doubt. They describe it as underwater. I would describe it as when I walked on and about an inch and a half of water came up, seeped up from the grass. So it's definitely wet. Obviously, all that snow melted. But my biggest concern that I saw when I was there, and I walked up here, was that a straw water was used going across here rather than double stake hay bales. And that was like the first thing that really caught my mind, because I could just think of all that snow coming down and it just washed everything away.
Yeah.
That was like my primary thing, the first thing that I saw.
Yep, that is a better idea. Straw wattles are good if you have not much grade, you know,
Right.
freeboard height. So I agree with you. And in fact, that's drawn on this revised plan. And like I said, he's got, you know, a couple 100 feet of stuff he's got to get up to grade here real quick. And I think that's his intention to address that right away.
Excellent.
So what you're just suggesting is that, or proposing is that this will be, the sill fence will be restabilized, double staked hay bales will be installed, the swale will be installed, wetland replication will be handled,
Restoration.
Restoration.
Few plantings.
Thank
yeah,
you.
few plantings.
and that will take place before any construction on the house.
That's the,
Okay. I know, he said he called New England Wetland Plants today, so hopefully we get that order shipped right out.
Okay. And what's your estimate in terms of how long it will take?
As far as the plants,
Well, aside from,
Yeah.
I understand that you have no control over
Right.
when the plants arrive, but once they do arrive, how long will it take you to put them in?
We'll
do the
plan on
work.
putting them in right away,
Okay,
as soon as we get them. So,
all right. Okay. Any other questions from the board?
Yep.
Okay. Any questions from the audience?
I just wanted to just share, I purchased the house on number 1.
Okay, can you state your name, please,
My
and
name
your
is Mary
address?
DeCourcy, I live at 1 Williams Street.
Okay,
And I'm really here as a neighbor, but also I had a very difficult time for the first month that I lived in the house. Specifically, getting Mr. Conan to finish some of the work on the house. And specifically, I went until the 25th of January without my floor being finished in the living room, and I'd already purchased the house on the 31st. And as a neighbor to the Burnett family, I'm just here to support the fact that I also went into their backyard and there was a lot of water flow. And my concern is just that Mr. Conan would sort of, you know, put up whatever needs to happen in order for that to be a pleasant, you know, experience for the Burnett family, because it was very unpleasant for me for the first month. We've since worked things out, and he's been very supportive, but it took me, I want to say, a lot of political coming on stronger than I like to. I'm also a very good neighbor, so I don't like to come on loud or strong at first, but I went until the 25th of January without a floor in my living room. I got the tax bill for $927. I just moved in at the end of the year. So I just think that if given toes on point, Mr. Conan will do the right thing. But I just think the board really needs to support the neighborhood, and that this is a drastic change to have 2 very large structures, you know, join the neighborhood. So whatever way we can be very gracious to them and be supportive and just ensure that water flow gets corrected before they move forward, I think the Burnett family would appreciate it. They said they couldn't be here today. They're up in Maine visiting Mr. Burnett's father, who's very sick. So they couldn't be here tonight. They apologize.
okay, great.
the only thing I'd like to point out too is that we haven't really done any construction over there at all, or disturbing. That water problem has been there forever, and we're taking care of it now. So the water problem is not from, you know, it was just inherited when we bought the lot. So.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, I think on Mr. Burnett's property, the area around his shed, I think, was very wet, and I think that was a condition that pre-existed at the time that you started doing construction work there. So that's probably a different issue for another day. But all right, what I would suggest is this. I know there's a cease and desist in place. It makes sense to me that we raise the cease and desist to the extent that it will allow you to restore the erosion control barrier, put in the double staked hay bales. restore the wetland and then put in or begin to construct the swale. And then I would suggest to you that once that's done, that work is done, or at least you've started it, let us know. We'll then make an inspection, see how it's going, and then at that point I think we could revisit the idea of removing the enforcement order in its entirety,
Okay.
if that's agreeable to you.
Yes.
Okay. Can I have a motion to that effect? I'm sorry, Scott.
So I had one more point. We noticed on the way in, actually Michael picked it up. The engineer drew these plans up today. They're showing an erosion control barrier out in this area, which is totally unnecessary. I'm
Yeah.
not sure why they threw that on there today.
Uh-huh.
There's no earthwork beyond the end of the swale.
Right.
Right. Obviously, we have to open it up to that swale. So we can run over the revised plan tomorrow, or I can scribble those out and initial and date them. If you want a plan for the record, it's up to you.
We would, and I don't myself have a problem with you doing that, and I agree with you. I don't think,
I'm not sure why you do
since
that.
there's no work being done there, or at least construction work, I think, yeah, it's just, for whatever reason, it doesn't have to be there.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Do you want one or two scribbled out?
All right, so is there a motion?
I didn't write all of that down, but I motion to raise the,
Lift?
huh?
Lift the enforcement order?
Oh, lift, sorry.
That's
Lift
okay.
the enforcement
Is it
order.
just you're raising the cease and desist, but the enforcement order is staying in place, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Okay, that's right, so far?
yeah.
Yep.
So the work to the swale and the
Erosion control
erosion
measures.
control measures.
And the
be
wetland
taken-
restoration.
And the wetland restoration.
Okay.
Be taken care of. And that will reconvene after that's done.
Yeah, we'll revisit the site once that work has been completed, or at least significantly
I
underway.
know it wasn't pretty, but.
That's all right.
it's my first time.
I'll second that motion.
All right, is
I
there
think it's good.
any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's a vote. Okay, very good. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Sorry, I missed you when you came in, I had gone to lunch.
No, quite all right. That's not a problem.
All right.
She'd give that
Something
to
like that.
Thank you.
Unfold it or roll?
everything.
You want to look up here?
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much,
very much.
folks.
Thank you very
We'll
much.
see you.
Good night.
I was kind of curious that the neighbors didn't come in. They're not concerned about it. It was really good of a neighbor to go.
I think that he's right though. There's gonna have been water, because when he said he put up the shed 2 years ago, they had water.
Yeah, that land was a wet area, and but they wanted a shed, and he put it up. I mean, he didn't put it up on blocks, but I mean,
You know what I mean?
it got underwater, yeah.
I'm feeling for him, but I mean, if you put that up 2 years ago, the water had to have been there and unsunk capacity.
Right.
Everything else going good? Yeah, I'm
I agree.
gonna go work after this. I'm working nights and a lot.
Okay. All right. The next item on our agenda is a 7:30 public hearing. Mark A. Sclambo, a request for determination for the replacement of an above-ground pole at 24 Oxford Street North in Auburn. Is there a motion open?
So move.
Second?
Second?
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? It's a vote. Is anyone here to present this request for determination?
Hello.
Please come on up. And you are?
I'm Mark Sclammo.
There you go.
Thank you.
I just took a bunch of pictures.
Wonderful. Okay,
Can you pass these around?
those around.
Okay.
This was an existing pool that he's replacing.
Same size?
Yeah, everything's the same, just getting a new one.
Uh-huh. Problem with the liner?
No, actually, no. It's just the pool was getting old,
Uh-huh.
you know, and it was just time. I was just telling Norm, I was getting ready to cover it for one more winter, and I'm glad I didn't. I'd have been picking it up this fall, this
Okay.
spring, but, so I took it down then.
All right.
And I want to replace it with the same size, same, just,
The deck's ready, is all ready, and it's all leveled up for you too.
yep, yeah, there's, you know, there won't be any groundbreaking or anything. It's just really going to be redo the sand in place for the new pool. That's really it, you know.
How big? 15 feet or 20 feet?
It's 24-foot round.
24 feet, okay.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, okay, yeah. Basically just, it's already there.
Are you coaching the applicant?
Existing?
Yeah, it's an existing deck, there's pictures of it.
Saw that.
I
Yeah.
just thought he said he was gonna put a deck on it.
Oh, no.
And that's what we would, you know.
I didn't draw it
I didn't hear
into the
anything
little
about the
plot
deck,
plan.
so.
Yeah,
But-
no, existing.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the deck is already
Yeah,
existing?
see, it's
Oh,
right
okay,
here.
okay.
So-
I thought this was it.
Yeah.
I didn't see the pictures.
Mhm.
Okay, that's good.
When do you think you would be putting this pool in?
Probably later May, early June.
Okay. Are you doing it yourself or you're having someone?
No,
do it?
I'm gonna have, I bought the pool from Pools and Cues and I wanna have them install it.
Okay, good. Okay,
I've done the last one, it was fine, but they're the professionals.
there you go.
I know.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay,
I'd like to make a motion.
not yet. Any comment from the audience? Apparently not. In that case, is there a motion to close?
I make a motion to close the hearing.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. Okay, Mr. Squammer, we'll be rendering decisions this later on, so thank you for coming in.
Okay.
Did you want any of these pictures?
No, you can
Okay.
take that.
All right.
And you have the plot plan. all right?
Yes, I believe I do.
Yeah, he basically, pool, well, you can see where it sits behind the deck sits behind it.
Yep, okay,
From the
great.
house.
That's actually
It's
good.
existing, so.
Yep, yep. Okay, so you contact me,
Yes, I won't be in until Monday.
that's fine, no problem. All right, thank you very
All
much.
right,
All right,
thank
thank
you.
you.
See you.
Have a great night.
See you, Norm, nice seeing you. I'll try to.
All right. And the next item on our agenda is, was also a 7:30 public hearing for Alvin Pope. This was actually a continuation from March 25th.
How we doing? How you
Good, how you doing? And is there a motion open?
I motion open.
Is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's voted. Okay, great. So the last time you were here, we were talking about how challenging the site was in terms of putting in the septic.
Yep.
And tell us about your efforts to move it.
What we did is, you know, just like you were talking about some of the geoflows of the Presby system, after talking with Jay after the meeting, you know, I said, start exploring some options. You know, there's a 25-foot buffer. You know, we got to see what we got to do.
Okay.
And basically, he did go with a Presby. I think he elongated it a little bit and kind of shrunk it back into the hill as much as he could.
Okay.
I still believe, what is it, 25 feet?
25 feet.
He got it around, I think it's close to almost 20. I think it's like 18, but he's in the yard.
Yeah.
So we're in the existing lawn footprint the way it is now. So, you know, there's no wall, there's no going into the woods, there's no, you know, kind of like how it was before.
Right.
So, but that's about as tight as he could get it up to the house without really drastically changing
Right.
the elevations and the grades and stuff like that.
if the garage wasn't there, we'd be fine.
Mhm.
You could suck it back in, you know what I mean, 3 or 4 feet. But where the garage is already set so low, you know, he'd be putting a second story on and driving into it. You know,
Okay.
so,
So you understand you're gonna need a waiver, right?
yes.
Okay. Any discussion, any other questions from the board?
I have a question.
Sure.
Can we grant him a waiver, or can I make a motion for a waiver tonight, or do we?
I think we're gonna have to discuss it.
Yeah.
You know, so,
But, here's a big one, this, right? Do you have a big one? Didn't we have that?
This is the old one I had from the
original.
last.
Trying to find the one with the house.
That was, oh,
This
okay.
is the old one. This is from 2 meetings ago.
House on, oh, the garage,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
Garage here, the house up here.
so how far did you end up moving it? Can I see that?
Sure. That's the original
Think
one
about-
from 3 weeks ago.
What will we at 7.5 feet? So we're at about 17 and a, so we moved it about 10
this one's
feet.
17 and a half.
Yeah.
That's the new one, is 17 and a half.
Okay. And basically, based on what you've just represented, there's really no, you can't move it any further away.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I wasn't here for that original.
That was in, yeah, March, I think you were
Yeah.
away. Okay. All right, if there are no other questions, is there a motion to close?
So moved.
Is there a second? Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. Okay. We will probably be doing a decision this evening, so you'll hear from us.
Okay.
All right.
So will they let Burton know? Who do you guys contact? So you don't contact me, but what does it just go to the
Usually
Burton?
send the decision to.
It will go to Alvin Pope.
Okay.
It'll go to the property owner.
Okay.
Usually I talk to you.
Sounds good.
I won't be in until Monday, so.
Okay. Well, I just know he doesn't live there. I think this is one of his. I think he lives in Holland. So I don't know what he has on file or whatever. That's the only reason. That's the only reason why I'm saying it.
Okay. So what, you're requesting that we send it to Burn
He lives
Engineering
on Chandler
instead?
Road. He
I-
lives in Chandler Road in Holland. I have his address.
Oh, okay. If you got it, then that's fine.
All right.
Yeah. Perfect. I just
Okay.
wanted to make sure, you know.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Very good, thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
great night.
Yep. You too.
Wow. Minutes of 8.
Chop, chop.
Chop, chop.
Okay,
Yeah, I was like, I don't even remember
okay, that's all right.
talking about that. Okay. Feel better now.
For,
So when are we?
we have 2 requests of determination and a notice of intent to act on.
Yep.
So regarding Eric Edstrom at 2 Winchester Avenue, what is your pleasure?
I think it's a negative determination.
Okay, do you want to make a motion?
I motion to let Eric Edstrom proceed with the, or actually, how do I do that? Yeah, because it's just a motion.
It's a
So,
negative determination.
I move to make a negative determination for Eric Edstrom.
Okay, is there a second?
I second that.
Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, it's a vote.
I'm getting the hang of this.
You're
The
doing
more
good.
you do it, the better you get at it.
With Dan and Chuck here though, I just kind of like
Well,
lay back.
I
It's pretty
understand.
easy. Yeah.
That's right. Do you have something for us to sign?
Oh, yes, I do. I'm sorry.
That's okay. For Mark Scalamo, a request for determination for 24 Oxford Street, is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we make a negative determination.
Okay.
I second.
All right, make sure she gets it down. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Just printing you the waiver.
No, that's not, no.
Not for him.
No, not for the request for determination.
This one.
Okay, so let's just do this again. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote.
I didn't slide that good enough.
Fine.
Yep.
Okay, so regarding the replacement of the septic system, it appears the applicant has, or at least they've made their best effort to move this system. Having done that, they're still within the 25-foot no-build zone, so in order conditions to be issued, we have to consider giving them a waiver. And looking at the regulations, and I'll just go through the elements. Strict compliance may be waived when in the judgment of the Commission. A, such action would serve a substantial public interest. B, such action is required for compliance with the Mass Contingency Plan, MCP. C, strict compliance will result in severe economic hardship greater in magnitude than the public interest to be served. And then it says further on, no waiver shall be granted unless the Commission determines that A, there are no practicable alternatives to the proposed action, B, alteration of the resource area has been minimized to the greatest extent practicable, and C, compensatory mitigating measures are taken even at an off-site location to protect the public interest in the protected resource area to be removed, filled, dredged, built upon, or altered. Now, in this case, there's no alteration of a wetland is being suggested by the applicant. It's a replacement of a failing septic system, and the reality is that without a septic system at that property, it cannot be sold or cannot be used by any occupant. So while I don't believe A and B would apply in this case, I believe that strict compliance would result in severe economic hardship to the applicant that would be greater in magnitude than the public interest to be served. I also believe, based on the representation made by the gentleman that was here this evening, that they have done their best to move the septic system as far away from the wetland area as they can. In fact, in comparing the new plan with the plan that was submitted in March, it appears they moved it another 10 feet away. And I don't believe, again, that there is any alteration of the resource area. I mean, I think there will be an alteration, but I think it's been minimized to the greatest extent possible. And I don't believe that the construction of the septic will denigrate or cause an adverse impact to the resource area if it is done properly. So, having said that, is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to grant this person a waiver with the altered plan that gave it a distance of 10 feet greater than the original submitted plan, and that they made a good faith effort to move it as best they could, and we issue standard order.
Okay, do you want to go through the elements?
Sure.
Okay.
Standard order plus the following special conditions. 1, 2, 3, there's no replication.
No replication.
5,
Mhm.
8, 10. Question for the chair, is 10 isn't necessary, correct?
I don't have the list in front of me,
For rare
unfortunately.
endangered species?
No, there's
That's
no
not
evidence.
habitat? No. Okay. 11,
I have mine, see, like,
12. I believe that's it.
Okay. I think what we need to do, and I don't think we have to do it this evening, but we should incorporate as a special condition some waiver language, but that's something we can work on.
Yeah.
So,
Great.
all right, basically your motion would be standard order plus special conditions 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 11, 12, and also a condition indicating that a waiver will be granted to the applicant pursuant to 1.11 of the wetland regulations, with the finding that that strict compliance would result in severe economic hardship, greater in magnitude than the public interest to be served, that there are no practicable alternatives to proposed action, and alteration of the resource area has been minimized to the greatest extent practicable. Okay. Is there a second?
I will second that.
Is there any discussion?
I just had a question.
What's that?
So there's fees for waivers of $500. Is that something this gentleman's going to have to pay, or
Yes.
is that something that they could vote to waive since it is really a hardship?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
You know, they were put on notice that we had some concerns. I believe they made a good faith effort to comply with them, but no, I am not, I would not suggest that the fee be waived.
So would the order of conditions be held up until I received a check, or how do we do that? This is the first time.
In order for them to get a certificate of compliance, they're going to have to pay the fee.
Okay.
But I think, frankly, the fee should be paid.
Yeah.
You raise a
Looking at
good
it on
point.
here, and it's a very valid point.
I think the fee should be paid before the beginning of construction.
Okay.
Okay. Can we incorporate that in your motion,
I'd
Tom?
like to incorporate that
Okay.
as an amendment to my original motion.
And can we have a second to that amendment?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's a vote.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Good catch there.
Comes from my memos and chocolate.
Well, no, like you say, because it's the first time we've,
Right.
yeah.
And I just didn't know, like, somebody might want a waiver. I mean, this was something that they tried not to have to apply for one, but, I mean, they still need
It is.
one.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. In terms of other business, we have requests for certificates of compliance from 20 Jade Hill Road.
That was
Right.
the one they need an as-built plan.
They do.
Oh, as-built
I
still?
hadn't heard from them. That was a real old
No
order of
as-built?
conditions.
No certificate of compliance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I told you, the order of conditions that was recorded in the registry made reference to special conditions, and that sheet was not recorded.
Right,
So, and you can't find the original filing, is that right?
right.
So I think the burden is on them. I think I may have been, I don't know if the Lewis was on the commission back in 2005. Were you on the commission back then? In 2005?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I can tell you that it was standard operating procedure for us to require as-bills.
Yep.
So I can say with a high degree of certainty that we did require an as-built. So I think they need to provide us with one.
All right, I've already told her that.
Okay. So no action on that. 1 William Street. I know the lady was here
Haven't got the
tonight.
as-built
Okay,
for
we
that.
can't do anything with that.
Right.
And then 31 to 35 Millbury Street. We actually saw that.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
We took a look. I think you had gone to me with some clients.
I did.
So we took a look. We did see that there was an issue with,
Snow removal when they plowed.
yeah, they had actually,
Yeah, that was, no, that's at Fallon, right?
Yeah.
I found
Or
it.
Reliant, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So they had actually, there was some snow storage on the bank, but otherwise, you know, the replication area looked fine. So I don't know what your pleasure is. I would just say that if you're inclined to grant certificate of compliance, we might want to just remind the applicant that they need to keep snow away from the wetland area. So is there a motion?
So moved.
To
To issue a certificate
issue a
of compliance.
certificate-
To issue a certificate of compliance.
Okay.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a
Okay.
vote.
Just before we close, I happened to just find the tree harvest plan.
Ah,
I'm assuming that's it. Does that look like it? Yeah. That's it.
Young area.
So it's just a photograph, right?
How
I
that's
would
stuck
say
in with
It's not a
this
topo?
Blackstone Valley stuff.
I'm gonna go through mine this
Scoop
weekend.
trail, no harvest area.
I put it.
Obviously, it's a no harvest area, what's in the middle of all the wetland swamp there.
That's good.
Unless it was that show with the cypresses down Florida.
But how are they gonna get in there?
It looks like it's on that
The way we did.
road that we did.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
You just have to sign that. I'm just looking for it. I thought I had one all typed up.
Sign what?
The certificate of compliance
Okay.
for Millbury.
Is there anything else besides that that came with that show? Just a locust
this
map
thing.
like that? Okay.
Here it is. Okay.
No, this right here, right? This?
Yep,
Yes. But did you have a plan with it?
I don't know, hold on.
Like on this locust map, it's indicating that Kinnear Brook looks to me like it's a perennial.
This doesn't tell us where they're cutting timber.
No, but this, basically it's showing like the access roads and
It shows the skid trail.
which,
All right. Sheila, can I keep these?
Sure.
All right. I'm still gonna
I
write
could make
to,
a copy and we have a, I'll do
would
it.
you prefer that, you wanna do that instead? Can you scan these and send them to me tomorrow?
Yes,
All right,
not tomorrow, but Monday.
Monday will be fine.
Okay.
Do you well earn days off there, Sheila?
Yes.
Oh, lovely for you.
So I think, based on what you just gave to me, Sheila, I'm not,
that's not very,
my
Yeah.
confidence has not been,
Google map with some colored
Enhanced.
lines on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right,
All
well,
right.
we'll just get that. Okay, we have to do two. Well, certificate of compliance, this is going to be for Millbury Street.
Yeah, this just says
And then
what
we
they're
need
cutting
an
down.
order of conditions signed for.
We've already done, I think, the two
Yep.
negative requests, or negative determinations.
Yep. And this is the order of conditions for the, is it 515?
515 Rochdale Street.
There you go.
Oh.
Thank you.
I think because Chuck and Dan are not here, I would just suggest that we carry over the minutes for April 8th to our next meeting.
Yeah, they're not done yet anyway.
That would be another reason not to consider them tonight.
I was gonna say, they are just about done, but not completely done.
Did we approve the minutes for the March 25th meeting, right?
Yes, we did.
Okay, good. All right. So right now, we have Pappas on for 7 PM on May 13th. That's the only thing right now, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I have two other ones that are going to be filing too.
All right. And I'm hoping, as I said, that we can actually meet at Faith Avenue before the May 13th meeting and get that started. So,
Hope the weather's,
Did we talk about anything about the, wasn't the school supposed to come in tonight about the jog?
no, they're coming the 13th, that's what they're coming in.
Okay.
all right, very good.
Okay, they're really going to be on for 7 o'clock.
Okay.
So I'll just put them back to back, but the school will come first.
Okay, maybe you could put Mr. Pappas on for 7:10 or something. Is there anything else?
I have 3 quick items, I promise, because I want to watch playoff hockey. My first item is regarding protocol. When we vote to close the meeting and then at the end of the meeting, we determine whether we want to go positive or negative. Is there any reason why we can't make that decision before we close the hearing?
We have to close the public hearing before we can
We
make
have
a
to close it
determination.
before we can do it, okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, because by closing the meeting, what you've done is that you've just considered or closed off anyone being able to submit any additional information before the board then will consider whether to, issue a positive determination or a negative determination.
Okay, that makes sense,
So-
makes perfect sense, okay.
Okay.
What was the other thing? I don't know if I had to make a motion or not, and I know it's a hot button issue, but if at the beginning of the meeting I could ask that we have a moment of silence to do it as we wish, whether we wanted to just have a moment of silence or pray, or I don't know if that was something that we were allowed to do at a town meeting or not. I don't want to violate any.
I'm not aware of that. I have no
They do
problem
the
with
Pledge
that.
of Allegiance at the selectmen's meetings. Does that mean something like that? or
It was more like a moment of silence or a moment of prayer. Like
Okay.
whatever. I just,
When the meeting opens?
yeah, at the opening of the meeting, right.
Yeah.
And it could be right after. Is anybody recording okay? I'd like to make a motion that we take a moment of silence to do it as we wish, to pray or.
Yeah.
I would just say because 2 members are not here, I would just, maybe we can discuss that at the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
And then last but not least, I would like to know if I could go before the selectmen at their next meeting and ask if they're going to be doing anything regarding hiring another employee to assist
Sheila.
Well,
Sheila here.
they're hiring,
They
it's
are.
not going to be specifically for the Board of Health.
Mhm.
It's going to be like,
Although that's the way it was advertised, right?
no, it wasn't advertised Board of Health.
No?
No, it's
Okay.
going to be just like a department,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah, because it's,
Yeah.
when I came in that day and I looked around,
yeah.
I don't know how she gets,
Well, I think,
work.
but they're,
She does get,
I know the notice went into the newspaper. I'm assuming they've been receiving applications.
Yeah, they're going over to the town manager, so
Right.
we haven't heard anything.
Uh-huh.
okay.
Is there a cutoff date?
Probably, I wouldn't think, no.
I mean, Tom, I think you can, if you want to, go certainly as a
Advocate.
town citizen.
Okay,
Um,
all right,
I mean, again, my understanding is that they are
they're
in the process of hiring someone.
Yes, and it's a 40-hour,
I'm presuming they're gonna get some pretty good applications too.
yeah,
it'll be really a 35-hour
right,
week.
but, yeah, it's,
And then, I don't know, Ruth's hours were cut back and we hired Anita Shaw.
Mhm.
And she was filling in, but now she's out on maternity leave. So we're hoping that she comes back
the town of
too.
Spencer, if I'm not mistaken, had 3, either 3 or maybe 3 full-time and a part-time, and
Yeah.
they don't have, the infrastructure and the things going on we have
Yeah.
in Auburn,
A
so.
lot of building department stuff. Now, we all have to help one another.
Mhm.
So it's like, building has been,
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's coming back, absolutely. So, okay.
Yeah.
Well, with that, they'll hire someone soon
Yes,
Yeah,
to
excellent.
I keep asking.
reduce your workload.
Yes.
all of our workload.
That's right. Okay.
Okay.
Is there anything else?
No.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.